very good morning to you, our viewers. Welcome to it. It is the dying days of the year, Patrick.
Indeed, it
we
is.
are in the last days of 2022, and we want to talk to you. So thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. On the other chair, as usual, on Wednesdays and Thursdays is Patrick Soko, the energetic duo.
Interesting.
Taking you through to 2023. We're very excited to be here, and we hope that you are excited as well, that God has seen you through this period until these last days of 2022. Patrick?
Interesting, and you're looking good.
Thank you, you too.
And people didn't realize that you could actually manage to have these things. You know, we were accustomed to seeing you with that haircut. That haircut. But there's someone within here who has taken over that haircut.
You know, when you're growing up, you leave wisdom to the children. Exactly what has happened to the hairstyle.
Yeah, I've seen. But wonderful works there by whoever did it.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick.
Interesting. What do we have for today?
As usual, Patrick, we're going to look at some of the stories that made headlines as of yesterday. Of course, we are winding up the year, and people are giving their perspective insofar as the year has been in various sectors of the economy. And we'll also be delving into some of those conversations with the guests that we'll have here on set. We'll also zoom into the morning boost, Patrick, as usual, to just help us flex our muscles, start the day on a healthier note, and avoid those non-communicable diseases, as Dr. Patrick always mentions, to say you need to exercise and keep fit so that your body is resistant to these non-communicable diseases. And we'll also look at the sports world is on again, Patrick?
Yeah, we are back to clubs football, and we'll be looking at the English Premier League on the matches that we have played. That's as of yesterday and the day before yesterday. We'll look at those matches later on the program. So right now we go straight into our first segment we call the morning boost, so that we can get flexing our muscles.
Indeed.
Hello guys, it's another edition. Today we are doing chest. It's your boy Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy, here at Shoiw Fitness in conjunction with the Camnet fitness team. And today I'm going to show you the chest. It's a home workout. And by the way, don't forget to get yourself Shoiw Fitness gym attire. It's all the way here in Kablonga. And let's go. Get ready. Okay. So first you start with the push-ups, the straight push-ups, 12 to 15 reps. We go. So make sure that your whole body is straight as you are going up, as you are going down and up. Doing a superset. After this, I'm doing a knee push-up, 15. After this, we are doing a box push-up, 15 again. Get ready. You take a chill for just seconds, for probably 20 seconds. To relax yourself. If you want, you get yourself some water. Okay, you relax, 20 seconds. Okay, you go again for another round. We were doing 15, now we've reduced to 12. So if you have time, you can go up to 5 repetitions. We go, body straight, and go. Let's go. Knee push-ups, 12. Let's go. Box push-up, 12. Two more. Okay, you take a chill. Okay, so you can also go for 5 repetitions. Then after that, you do your stretch. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we are done. You have been with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Papi. See you next time.
Okay, welcome back. You are still watching the Camnet Breakfast Show with me, Patrick Soko, and Sharon Kalimbula. We were just looking at our first segment, the morning booster, where we get to exercise early in the morning. You can make a date every day and exercise with us on the Breakfast Show.
Indeed, Patrick, let's look at the health code and see what the doctors have for us. You were still in the healthy zone, you know, after flexing. Check yourself if you're healthy.
And this week, Madam Ganimba, we are talking about cholera. You know that this is a
peak season for such diseases.
Yes.
And we just want to remind ourselves how to take care, how to exercise utmost hygiene. As the former Minister of Health, Chitalu Chilufya, would say utmost hygiene.
Yes.
You know, he experienced the most bad period of cholera season that time with Vincent Mwadi as local government minister. It was a terrible season for the country. Let's look at this, and we hope that it reminds you of how you need to keep your surroundings clean. Cholera is a dirt disease.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you need to observe utmost hygiene and prevent it. Let's look at this, and thereafter we continue the conversation this morning.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to today's segment of the Health Corner on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya. So this week we have been discussing about cholera, and today we are going to discuss the symptoms of cholera. How does one know that they have cholera? So yesterday we had talked about the causes or how someone can get cholera, and we say that you can get cholera through drinking water that is contaminated or eating food that is contaminated. So how do you know that you have cholera if you get the disease? So there are some symptoms that are very cardinal to cholera, and first of all, it's important to know that there are some people that might have cholera and not even show any symptoms. So they might be asymptomatic, but these people are able to transmit this disease to other people. Then there are those that would have mild symptoms of diarrhea, which might not be very severe, but very mild. And it might resolve once they have been given some oral rehydration solution or they have been rehydrated. Then there are some severe cases where people will experience severe diarrhea. And in these people, they will need medical attention as soon as possible. So some of the symptoms that people might present when they have severe cholera, it would be things like severe diarrhea, to the point where somebody starts feeling thirsty and having dry skin, feeling tired and fatigued, weakness, and they might experience vomiting. So they might vomit a lot and lose so much water. The other symptoms would be muscle cramps. They might start feeling pain in the legs and in some other muscles in the body, and even abdominal pain. So these are some of the symptoms of cholera. They are not specific to cholera only. It could be another diarrheal disease, but you need to get medical attention as soon as possible because you do not know if it's cholera or not unless you are tested at the hospital. So make sure you get help as soon as possible. So in today's topic, or in today's lesson, we are learning that cholera causes severe diarrhea, and it causes other symptoms like vomiting, abdominal pain, and muscle cramps. And it's important for you to go to the hospital as soon as you have any of these symptoms so that you can be able to get help and get treated as soon as possible. This is the end of today's topic. I do hope you have learned something. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow again at the same time and continue to watch The Breakfast Show on Camnet TV. Thank you for watching. That's all for today.
Right, there you have it, Dr. Mobiana Mufaya, there bringing us cholera issues and reminding us of how we need to ensure that we take care of ourselves, especially during the rainy season, Patrick. We have a lot of incidences going into January, February there, and a lot of areas in our country that is still developing, still having challenges of water issues, where people are still using wells as sources of water.
Yeah, you're right.
And those are contaminated usually, basing our argument or our emphasis or conversation on the previous outbreak that we had, the big outbreak that we had, Patrick. A lot of wells that were sunk, dotted across the country, were actually buried by government, owing to the fact that it was discovered that they were what can I say? they were holding, they were super spreaders.
Yes,
to use the,
yes.
the word that was widely used.
Yeah,
yes,
they were harboring the cholera.
Harboring the cholera virus or is it bacteria or something like that. So yeah, we need to ensure that we boil our water if we cannot chlorinate it. Not all of us can buy our water from supermarkets, but we can still use the conventional methods that we use at home to boil the water, to add a bit of chlorine and purify the water before we drink it. It's one of the ways in which cholera is spread. Water.
Interesting.
Wash your hands all the time. You want to touch food, eat warm food, and cover the food, avoid flies coming onto your food, and that way you will be able to at least stay safe.
And it has its cousin. I don't know if it is
Dysentery?
Yeah, that other one.
Which
It should be typhoid.
Typhoid.
Yeah, it is also related to hygiene.
Cholera, to hygiene, yes.
So while you are safeguarding yourself against the cholera, you will be also protecting yourself from other diseases, waterborne diseases like the typhoid,
dysentery,
yes.
Things like that. We don't want a record of one of you, Patrick, to say, no, Patrick, Shan. You know, some of these diseases are embarrassing.
You know, like the disease for cholera, it used to be a very embarrassing disease.
Yes, actually, today. You know,
and people will be shunning you.
We shun your residents.
If it is you people, you would even stop picking me for the breakfast. You would replace me. I hope you do that. But that's why we have to make sure that we take a proactive approach to ensure that we do not get to those levels, because it can affect everyone. So we have to make sure that we take a proactive approach and make sure that we do implement the preventive measures.
Indeed, Patrick, let's look at how the kwacha is faring against the major competitor. It's been ballooning the past few days, and we hope that today it's doing fine. The United States dollars is buying at 17 kwacha 7.8 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 1.3 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 21 kwacha 14 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 82 ngwe. The Euro is at 18 kwacha 19 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 28 ngwe. The South African rand is at 1 kwacha 03 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 05 ngwe. These are your money markets as of today, the 28th of December 2022. As we always say, they vary from one financial institution to another, but of course within the same range.
Yeah, you're right, within the same range. And like you earlier put it, the kwacha has been increasing. We're talking about at the time when it was giving us excitement, when it was at 15. But now we are talking about 17 and 18, so it's not a good gesture as we are ending the year. It shows that we are ending the year on a sad note. But we just hope that the financial institution, being the central bank and the Ministry of Finance, will continue to put in place modalities to make sure that the currency is stabilized, because a stable currency is vital towards cushioning the cost of living, as well as making it easy for people to manage to afford to buy commodities. Otherwise, we may be going towards that kind of inflation where we have more goods, few money, you know, but it may be difficult for us to cope. And interestingly, Sharon, we saw that yesterday the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Brenda Tambatamba, did announce the revision of the minimum wages for domestic workers as well as general workers in various categories.
Yes.
And interesting enough, when I looked at it, it is still below the threshold for the cost of living as measured by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection for a family of 5, and which stands at 8,000 plus. Now, if you look at that, Sharon, it's just an indicator that we still need to do more as a country.
Yeah, let's throw a towel to the viewers. In case you want to join us and have this conversation, you can call us with the numbers scrolling on your screens. You can also send us those text messages. We'll be able to read them and you will give us your comment. Let's talk about the minimum wage also. What are your perspective or what are your views on this minimum wage, especially for the domestic workers, from about 993,093 kwacha 16 ngwe to 1,300 kwacha as of, is it effect January 2023? Yes. So let's look at these. How much do you pay your maid? And is this 1,300 kwacha okay with you. Let's get interactive. Patrick, you wanted to look at the sporting world and what's happening there.
I think we'll be briefed when our fixtures
Okay.
are on.
So let me just read the story for the minimum wage, and then we can play it so that we can refresh our memory and be able to comment on an informed perspective. The Zambian government has revised upwards the minimum wages for domestic workers, shop owners and employees covered under general order. Among the notable changes, domestic workers will be earning 1,300 kwacha from 993.60 kwacha. For those under grade 1, which include office orderlies, will be earning 2,313 ngwe from 1,698.60 ngwe, and those under grade 2, which include drivers and sales assistants, will be getting 2,722.57 ngwe from 1,994.40 ngwe. Labour and Social Security Minister Brenda Tambatamba says the changes are based on research that was undertaken by Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and recommendations derived from the Tripartite Consultative Labour Council. Let's look at this story as we also look at the story from the Cleaners Association of Zambia, who have welcomed this decision. Let's play these two stories, and thereafter we can comment on whether it is okay for this amount. You know?
Yeah, it's quite debatable.
It's quite debatable. Let's look at these stories.
By the Zambian government to increase the minimum wage for domestic, shopkeepers and general workers has come as a sigh of relief and the positive festive season gift to some workers who continue to struggle to meet their needs in the wake of the ever-escalating cost of living. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security, following consultation with sector players, revised the earnings of various vulnerable employees in the country. Among the notable changes is that domestic workers will be earning 1,300 kwacha from 993 kwacha 60 ngwe. Labour Minister Brenda Tambatamba has emphasized that the revised minimum wages will only apply to vulnerable categories of employees and not unionized workers.
Under the statutory instrument number 70, Shopkeepers Order of 2018, Grade 1, for instance, handy persons, office orderlies, odd gross was 1,698.16 ngwe, and the new gross pay is 2,313.10 ngwe. Grade 2, for instance, drivers, sales assistants and packers are covered here. The odd gross pay was 1,994.40 ngwe, and the new gross pay is 2,722 kwacha 57.
Although it is worth noting that the revised minimum wages do not tally with the cost of living for a family of 5 as measured by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflections, JCTR, which stands at 8,567 kwacha 20 ngwe as of the month of November 2022. And the minister said the Tripartite Consultative Labour Council has also passed a resolution to review the existing minimum wages and conditions of employment for mining and communication sectors.
Has taken ZIPA to gather more, or has tasked ZIPA to gather more information in order to adequately guide the LAC to come up with appropriate recommendations on the formulation of the sector-based minimum wages for the information, communication and technology, ICT and mining sectors, which were not completed. The minimum wages and conditions of employment for truck and bus drivers order was considered, but the LAC resolved to carry out a comparative analysis with other countries within the COMESA region to benchmark best practice as this particular sector is operating across the borders.
The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU, is happy to note that the wages for vulnerable workers have been revised upwards.
The challenge on the unions to up their game that this minimum wage which has been set, we don't expect the unionized workers to get something near to this, but it should be above. So we will engage on the capacity building, especially from our partners Congress, where our members are able to negotiate and have more bargaining power.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Government must assist the cleaning companies by making sure that the implementation of this law is guided. We do not want workers to expect us to pay them the minimum wage in December of 2022. The implementation must be gradual. Government is a client to all the cleaning companies that are in Zambia, and there are a lot of parastatal companies that are also clients to cleaning contractors. We may need time and government intervention in this matter, because in 2018, when there was the new minimum wage, which took the wages to 1,600,000, we had a very big problem in that the implementation was immediate. If this one is also immediate, it will force cleaning companies to go into rapid negotiations with institutions that have contracted us. Mind you, we have signed contracts for 1 year, others are for 2 years, hence we need to go back to these institutions that have contracted us, including government and the parastatal companies. And these negotiations do not take 1 week or 1 day. They take time. And at times, the clients, including government, they do not accept the increase. And in this case, there is about 1,000 which we need to increase to the already existing rates that we have had.
Interesting. There you have it. Quite an interesting story on the minimum wage. And the Cleaning Association of Zambia was already reacting to the changes that were announced by the Ministry of Labor. They are bringing out quite an important perspective, Sharon, in that they are saying that this information also has to sink to their contractors, yes, or people who are giving them jobs, because if they are going to operate at the previous rate,
same rate,
it means that it will be difficult
the purpose, exactly,
for them to
exactly
enforce
what
the
I was
minimum
saying.
wage.
So you know, of course, it's like you mentioned, it's very far from the food basket, according to Just City.
Yes,
being dramatic here. So yeah, it's far, way too low. But then again, when you look at how these employers are, maybe we'll follow less. Is that a call? Let's pick it. I'm not sure why I was heard there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kalipula.
Good morning, thank you. How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you today, madam?
Good. Your name?
Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Chinza from Munari. How are you representing the voice of Munari?
Voice of Munari. You're not in Southern Province?
Yeah, I'm a farmer here. I'm already in Southern Province.
Nice.
I'm found in Lusaka.
Okay, so where are you calling from now?
Right now, I'm calling from Southern Province.
So Muzali Mamweka, but it is at Jatonsi.
For sure. I'll bring you.
Okay, great.
You can go ahead for contribution, sir.
Thank you so much. I think that is a welcome move to do with the upward assessment of the minimum wage. But much as I'm concerned, I think we've got a very big problem for this is the labor ministry. The minister herself, for much as I'm concerned, I think she's not doing a lot. Because there is a lot of sleeping within the labor ministry. I want to cite an example of this big company that is almost owned, the big company that is almost owned everywhere, by the name of Amtel. This security company is wealthy and a former CSB official, including the former head of state, Dr. Kasila Dongo. She is also a shareholder. The upwardly, the previously announced minimum wage, guess how much one person is getting paid, according to my research. For example, this security company is even awarded a contract to provide security with relevant. And the one officer there, therefore, is paying them about almost 45,000 a year. And how much are they paying the officer? I'm saying they are paying them 800. Listen to where I actually go to visit. In the book there, he has Victoria Falls Hydro Power Station. An armed safety vehicle was actually involved in that road accident. They were actually admitted, the officers of armed safety were actually admitted at every, as a look at this now, at the Richmond General Hospital. Not even a single armed safety administrator went to the hospital. I'm going to trust it, and I'm going to send you the number for one of the victims there who was just discharged from the Richmond Hospital 3 days ago. Those people that was not saying, I think it's very cool, not too long ago, those people that didn't protest, what I didn't saw it, it's not mistaken, this is one of the authority, one is not the phone of one of them, that protested against this. So, Madam Tamba's office there, they must be shaking. That's what to please ladies. I thought that is happening. Even as there, I've met that people is going before. What we are like to see is people that are going to be watching, to be good, people that are not going to be told like this is what I can afford, what to tell you, because all the people who are holding horses, who are living like what is happening in the country. There is a lot of stealing by the leaders who are living God's book. So for me, if those people, I should not just wait for the people who are living the labor ministry, but just of them. And I wish they would be like Cornelius Mesa, who is there like a general player. Whenever he has a problem, you always be there on the ground. That is the more reason why. I can let that one. Even this one is only going to be adhered to material service problem as well. A lot of manipulation when it comes to do with the labor missions of business by those people who are trying to be employers. So please welcome them. But Sabatamba, pull up yourself with your officers there, make your people give to the people who are represented, what is right, whether this is the enjoy the government policies. I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinza. Once again, you too can call us and have this conversation with us regarding the minimum wage, and if at all you are okay with it or not. If you are okay with it, give us your perspective why you think it's okay, and if you're not, equally give us why you think it's not okay. Otherwise, the government has said this. It's policy. It has to be done.
Interesting part it brings out on the security guards. You and I have several occasions interviewed these people, especially on shopping malls, where when we frequent these malls, they would talk to us in confidence to say, Tikambire nkoni.
But 3 months.
But the salary is 700, 750, 800. And that is us, despite as a country having the previous minimum wage, which prescribed something above that 800 kwacha. Yes. But people were still being paid below
minimum wage. Let's speak this call, Patrick. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Please, thank you. Go ahead with your contribution.
It's not that the government, but just the government or another government. But the problem comes in the implementation.
Yeah.
It's very easy to put that into the minimum wage that to need to be first that is because what happened that the minimum that the labor office. Where people when you begin to have a support that you will start getting over. Now you get that in the minute now to get the minimum wage, make a call to company, not very long, some small company, make sure that is put in trouble. Otherwise, what is going to be stayed. I remember that time when Shoiw was where they find you 2,000 Australians. Very, very, all the stuff. How much I pay? Ask individuals how much I pay. Then that person, when you give the order without following, that's why it doesn't make sense. Usually to be told that this again.
Right.
Thank you for your perspective.
Thank you so much for your contribution. You too can have your say on this important conversation we're having this morning. You know, with this life of ours nowadays where it's very busy, you have both mother and father going to work. It's very common that you have a house help. Others would prefer call them maids. I really don't like that. I don't know why. For me, it just sounds weird. It sounds demeaning. But yeah, so if you have a house help and you are affected directly or indirectly in some way with these changes that have been made, let's look at one of the stories as we zoom in. One of our guests are meant to understand that they are here, and we look at one of the stories where All People's Congress Party President Nelson Musoni, who is a member of the UPND Alliance, advised President Hakainde Hichilema to consult the people of Zambia before committing the country to bilateral and multilateral agreements on the country's mineral wealth. Mr. Musoni says what is this word, Patrick? All right, let's look at this story.
To consult other stakeholders if you're going to commit this country to foreign governments, especially the mineral wealth. Most countries in Africa are grappling with political instability because the individuals have taken it upon themselves to go and commit their country to agreements that are binding without consulting other stakeholders. Now, the recent agreements which were recently signed with a foreign government is a source of concern to all of us. And we think that unilateralism should be avoided at all costs. It is important for political leaders to consult, especially when it comes to the mineral wealth of our country. These are things that have created instability in the Congo, in the Great Lakes region, because individuals have taken it upon themselves to go and commit their respective countries to foreign governments. Okay? These foreign governments protect these agreements violently. So we think that without endangering any of the leaders of our country, particularly opposition leaders, it is important that when you want to commit your country, our country, adequate consultations are done.
Good news, good news. The rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generation Wealth is the way to go. Has grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each, and ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital.
Stars Football Club, popularly known as the local national team, is inviting all skillfully gifted, talented and creative soccer players from across Zambia. Ages between 16 and 20 must come, train and join the club. The category of these gifted footballers have the chance to go and market their talent in Europe and USA through Camnet Stars Football Club, a team formed with a vision to produce quality international players. Please do not miss this brief open opportunity given to you. Camnet Stars Football Club could be your gateway to your international soccer career. Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Date 12th December 2022 to 21st January 2023. Time 09 hours to 11 hours. Your time to shine is now.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Camnet Breakfast. In state, we are joined by Mr. Charles Moelwa, who is a political activist. He's not new to the screens. He's been here before, and he'll help us discuss a number of issues that have been happening in the country. Patrick?
Yeah, like you put it, Mr. Moelwa was also among the candidates who participated for the Mwense district council chairperson elections and the Patriotic Front ticket. And since then, we haven't had a time to review the election. And today, we have him in studio to discuss this issue and other topical national matters, Sharon. And now, Mr. Amuna, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and good morning, viewers out there.
To just get straight into our discussion, we want to get your perspective overall. How would you describe your experience in Mwense, where you were vying to represent the people of that area as their council chairperson?
Was this the first time you appeared on the ballot?
No.
It wasn't?
I'm not new.
So you've done the drill of campaigns before?
I'm not new. I know what it takes.
Ah, brilliant. Run us through the Mwense by-election campaigns, especially.
It was a good experience. I think I'd learned one or two things. Unfortunately, there was too much violence in the process, something that was very, very unfortunate, because Mwense, just like any other rural district, is a rural district. And the issue of violence becomes very strange to the people in rural areas, unlike people in urban areas like Lusaka, because we are used to violence. Even just jumping on the bus, you could see her to say, no, people are actually fighting just like that. But in rural setup, it's something that is very, 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 very unfortunate. That is very strange. It was a good experience anyway.
What are some of the lessons you've learned this far from that experience?
I learned one or two things. Firstly, people are just too desperate for power. Yeah. That they would want to do all what it takes to be elected into office. A thing that I've always said no to it. If it means just to be talking to people through this and not to save them, I better do that than shed blood to be council chairperson or MP of a particular constituency or a particular district. That one I've always said no to it.
Okay. Interesting. Now, we understand that you are suggesting that there was a political violence. But your statement will be contradicting President Hakainde Hichilema's statement during his end-of-year press conference, where he indicated that people are now free. The by-elections that were held were free and fair. People were able to wake up in the morning and go and cast their votes. Does that reflect what truly transpired in Mwense?
It doesn't. You know, Patrick, I'm a very straightforward person. I always call a spade a spade. And something that is wrong, I would say this is wrong. And something that is right, I would say this is right. So if maybe the head of state is actually saying the elections that passed had no violence, then I'm worried he's not getting the correct information from the office of the president, from his officers, from the OP themselves. Yes, it's the things that you saw for yourselves. You had videos. We've got videos in the what, in the phones. These matters are actually in court. It went to the tribunal. From there, they upheld his elections, and we have since taken it to the Constitutional Court. So it's something that's very unfortunate, and me getting such statements from the head of state is something that worries me.
How was the margin in Mwense between you and the winner?
You know, when you are stealing, definitely you can't get the bigger margin. It was 326, the difference of 326
people.
Yes,
voted.
And I know he got 11,313, if I'm not mistaken. Then I got 10,987. So he was ahead of me of about 326 votes. And you know what that takes? It's just a matter of those votes were actually just stolen. Me, I would bet them, I would tell them to say, you bring the ballot paper, start counting one by one here. You see who is actually going to have more votes. That one I would bet with them. I would tell them, I will give you all the costs.
Are you indirectly telling us that you are petitioning this election?
I have done that. We have done that. It started with the tribunal, and they upheld these elections, and we are not happy with the judgment.
The judgment there.
So it has gone to the Constitutional Court, and we are very pretty sure that the Constitutional Court will definitely nullify that seat. That one I'm very pretty sure.
Are you telling us that you have confidence in the judicial process?
At the highest level, yes, but not at the lower level. Okay. At the highest level, yes. The only level that we are remaining with currently is maybe the Constitutional Court. And if that one is actually cracked, then we are doomed.
So now, let's also get, if the petition does not go through, what will be the political career of Mr. Mwera? Is he going to hang on and continue to lament and whine about the Mwense laws? Or what will be the way forward for you, Mr. Mwera?
I'm a very stable person politically. There's one thing that I actually believe in.
Are you stable when you contested in various political parties?
Yes,
including UNIP.
That is what it means. In fact, for me to go and stand on the UNIP ticket means I'm stable. What do I mean? I'm not one person that Shalom would come and say, oh, Bamwerwa, just come on TV. This is 100 kwacha. Come and talk on Camnet TV. Then the other one from movie TV comes, no, here is the 50 kwacha. No, I've always refused to that. In 2013, I stood on the UNIP ticket. I stood with Honorable Chitaru Chirufya on the UNIP ticket.
That's Kasama?
No, that is Mwense.
Mwense?
Yes, after the death of Honorable Kenneth Saken, may he so rest in peace. In 2016, I still stuck with the UNIP. I was as vibrant as I am today. I never rushed to say, no, let me go to these other political parties. There were other political parties that were actually looking for
you can also vied for the under the UPND. Are you able to share with it?
No. I've never stood on the UPND.
But you were also a member. Oh, in fact, it was that time when you were in alliance with the UPND.
No, not even that. Not even that. I will tell you this. In 2021, I actually applied on the PF ticket. I was left out. I went as an independent candidate. And one of the people that actually approached me was the UPND. I refused. I said, I better go as an independent rather than dumping the political party. Then I actually go and stand on the what? On the UPND. That would be a betrayal on my part. I will go as an independent candidate. So, having stood as an independent candidate, I had an opportunity to interact with both the UPND and the PF, whichever political. I was an independent candidate. Of course, I supported President Edgar Lungu. Proudly supported President Edgar Lungu. I lost. I came out number 2 to Honorable Mavumba. After elections, I was an independent candidate. I interacted with both the UPND and the PF. So people thought maybe I'd actually gone to UPND. The answer is extremely no. I've never declared to say I've joined the UPND. That one, no.
Extremely no, indeed. Yeah. Let's move to other matters currently happening in the country. Your general perspective overall of how 2022 has been economically under the UPND administration?
It's rough. It's very, very rough. You know, people are preferring jumping on Yango than using their own vehicles because fuel is actually high. It's very rough. The economy is very bad. Me, I'm in business. The economy is very, very, very bad. It's very bad.
That's all you can say. It's bad.
No, it's very bad.
Is there hope though? Is there hope that it's going to be good? Because the president last week had a press conference where he said, "I'm setting 2023
as the year
of unlocking the economy, opportunities, and all." Is there hope? Of course, you are from the opposition, but
you know,
your role is not to oppose everything.
There's one thing that I actually believe in. I respect the office of the president itself. I respect it very much. In fact, I'm one person that no one would come and say you insulted me or you said this. No. But what is wrong, I would say this is not wrong. If he's actually talking about we are actually unlocking the economy, we can't talk about what he has not yet done. Let's talk about what he has done. Has he reduced the economy? The answer is no. And from August last year, that's a song we have actually been hearing. So if you ask me about how it is today, I would not say it is well. If you ask me about he's unlocking next year, I would not say no, he's not going to do it because we don't know. I would tell you to say, go and open that door. I give you the key, and you go and open the what? The door. He's been given a mandate by the Zambian people. So he still has got the what? The keys. You can either open it or fail to open it. So it's a two-way thing. So for now, I would not say he cannot actually, maybe the economy is not going to be stable or the economy is going to be stable. No. Talking about 2022, it's something that has been very bad. Let's not pretend about this.
How bad is it? We want to know. It's a broad question that I asked because it has a lot of sectors in it, but not everything.
Are you happy that he has provided free education and that he has delivered that 25.7 million kwacha as CDF?
And increasing next year?
Are you aware again that the same free education has come with its own challenges? It has. I actually happen to run a foundation called Mwera Charles Foundation.
In Mwense?
No, in Zambia.
Oh.
Mwera Charles Foundation. It's an NGO. It's a non-government organization. When you actually get into the field, that's when you know free education has come with its own challenges. A challenge is always a challenge, with or without free education.
But a challenge provides an opportunity for a solution, Mr.
Let me tell you this. Are you aware that there are some people who can't afford to buy a book for 29 kwacha in Zambia today? With the free education, a book is 29 kwacha.
Of course, you and I are.
Then when you are actually paying, a book is going at 13 kwacha. Which one is better? Free education, a book is 29 kwacha. You are paying at school, a book is 13 kwacha. Which one is better?
Mr. Mwela, we are here to ask you the questions and not you asking us the questions. So
we won't tell you which one is better.
We won't tell you which one is better.
Of course, 13 kwacha is better.
We won't tell you that.
Of course, 13 kwacha is better. Because, you know, it was last, when I went to Pick and Pay, I found books at 29 kwacha. I thought that was a joke. I went to ShopRite. Books were going at 45 kwacha. Same books. I said,
books have been like that for some time, Mr. Mwela.
For some time.
for some time.
Which time?
I'm a student,
yes.
Just for the record.
Yes.
I've been using books.
How much were you buying books?
They were almost within that range. They were almost within that range.
They were almost reaching that range.
Yes,
they did not
almost within that range.
They did not
But the economy is changing, Mr. Moelo. So you don't expect things to be stagnant, to be the same. However, we are looking at some of the things that we can say the UPND has gained and has lost. But your blanket statement to say they are bad, we are not questioning whether you are able to see anything good.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this, my sister and my brother here. Your salary has remained the same.
There are no facts to that.
Good enough.
There are no facts to that.
Good enough. There was an increment of a 10%. If you get paid a 5,000 kwacha, the 10% of 5,000 kwacha is 500 kwacha. But when you compare the rate of the commodities and the salary increment, they are not matching at all. Let us not pretend. If we continue pretending, we will become criminals.
Mr. Mola, we are not pretending.
Just to survive, we will become criminals.
Okay, maybe let me simplify it.
Yes.
Is there something good that they've done that you think may not have been your expectation, but they are trying? Is there something like that you've seen?
I would tell you one thing. I said earlier on to say, I don't massage anyone.
Exactly.
I can't massage PF. I can't massage UPND. I need to state things the way they are. Last time when I was here, I think there are certain things I could appreciate, which the president is actually doing.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes. I still stick to that. Like, for example, if you talk about employing 30,000 teachers, it's not a joke. Let's not pretend. Let's not beat about the bush. It's not a joke. Employing 30 teachers, just employing 100 workers at this institution, it's not a joke. It's something that needs to be appreciated. Again, employing about 11,000 health workers is also not a joke. But also on top of that, cost of living must be reduced. That's the key. Because even the people that have actually been employed are not appreciating. Why? Because they even feel, na financially that's the way it is. Why? Because it's more or less like you moving out of poverty, getting into another poverty. Even when you start getting
from the frying pan to the fire.
Yes. Even when you start getting your own salary. So the bottom line is, please, let's have the economy be reduced. Yes. When you talk about the issue of, I also appreciated when you talked about cadres. Well, the other time when I was here, I appreciated when you talk about the issue of cadres. But I believed we have advanced in terms of operation of the cadres when I was in an election. If I tell you to say I was almost killed, you would not believe.
Let's speak this call.
Let's speak this call.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from this morning.
Your name is?
My name is Conde.
Conde.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Conde, and give us your...
Hello?
Go ahead
with your contribution.
Okay, what is someone saying is true? What is someone saying is true? The government is very bad. The government is very hard. If you see the prices of potential commodities today, they are very high. The European is overpromised people. If you look at the person that are not campaigning or saying the taxi driver to immediately like that person that will give you want to buy taxi. But this is not happening. There are other issues that is related to electricity. The cost of electricity just too high. They are planning to increase electricity. It is very high. If you look at the NCC by 2030.
Oh, we lost a call, but we picked some sense out of it, Patrick.
We did pick what he was trying to put across. And before we interrupted you, you were responding to something.
Yes, so I was saying I would not massage PF, neither will I massage the UPND. What is wrong, we are going to say this is wrong. So I was actually simply saying, even the people that have actually been employed are not appreciating. So the bottom line here is, let's have the cost of living be reduced. If it is not reduced, let's have money in circulation. You know, if you have money, even if something is expensive, you will not feel the pinch. Even if it's expensive, why? Because there is money in circulation. But there is no money and things are actually expensive. We can't pretend. Let us not pretend. Where it is wrong, we'll say it is wrong. You know, I'm one of the people that were actually saying, if only President HH would actually implement what he's talking about, including that of the CDF, then we are going to have a lot of challenges in terms of removing the UPND into office. But it's a different thing. So what he's actually saying is not what is actually happening.
Now, borrowing from the Labour Minister's perspective, as a working government, they have worked on the minimum wage, which was stagnant for a while. Isn't that a positive gesture that a domestic worker will be now earning 1,300 from 996, Mr. Mwera?
It was yesterday I was looking at it. If I've got, it's very simple. If I've got 30 workers, in order for me to actually implement that, I'm going to remove 15. I'll remain with 15. How do you actually maintain the minimum wage if there's no money in circulation? If I've got 5 workers, I'll remain with 2. So that I remove the 2. So in short, that one is also affecting, some people are actually going to lose what? Employment. And I'm one of the people that are going to fire the workers. The Labour Minister will not come to me, why have you fired them? I will not manage, because I don't want at the end of the day, I fail to pay them, then they take me to Labour office again. No.
Let's pick this call.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you? Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Smother calling from Kapoor.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can go ahead for your contribution.
Yes, Mr. Smother, go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I want to comment on something concerning the high cost of living.
Okay, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
What people are telling you on Camnet, because telling the high cost of living is true. Today is the movement direction. Today, they will come back right.
Okay, why is that?
Okay, there you have it. I think
people are annoyed. People feel guilty. And another point is that, listen, the other point is that the other journalists, they are said to be like the Red South Mango. Some of the people who bring there from the other side, if they were brought there to be interviewed, their ethnic tones be read the window.
I didn't understand that. Let's get on. Yeah.
That man who is the journalist there, trying to be like the Red South Mango. That's what he failed to do.
Thank you so much. Each one has their own uniqueness. I think we need to appreciate that as a people. Yeah.
You know, the issue of the high cost of living.
Yes.
It's non-debatable. It's an issue that we shouldn't even be talking about it, because it's high. That's the truth of the matter. Unless otherwise, it's very high.
We need to continue talking about it. That's why Coca-Cola always advertises.
That's why it is.
So that people can act. You know, you don't
so
show.
Basically, in a nutshell, the cost of living is very high. And as a result of that, it is affecting all the better things that the president is doing. There could have been other good things that he has done, but they are not being appreciated. Why? Because the cost of living is very... Imagine I hear to say they have actually employed 30,000 teachers. When a bag of... Then I go out there, I go in ShopRite with a 140, I found to say a bag of minimum is going at 160. Am I going to appreciate that? The answer is extremely no. Let's have resources in circulation.
Do you agree with the perspective or the narrative that is being brought up by the UPND that cadreism has been dealt with?
By who?
By this government.
I mentioned earlier on to say, before, I'm one of the people that said cadreism has been reduced. But I'm just coming from an election which was more violent than ever. I was in an election in 2021. What I saw during the by-election is not what I actually expected. It's by far. So, meaning that, in fact, it is more advanced. We could hear guns, live guns. So, to me, that one, if you are not in an election, you would say yes. If maybe somebody is showing you on TV like this one, when they have sent you videos from, let's say, Mwense, you would say, no, it was there's no violence. But when you are there, that's when you believe to say there is violence, because you will run for your life. So this is basically the way it is. We still have got a homework to do. We haven't reached that far.
Okay, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning. We
must have lost that call.
Yeah, so this is basically the way it is. You know, there is too much violence. And the most unfortunate part is that the issue of transporting cadres from one district to the other has actually continued. This is what was in the PF, and it is still even more advanced in the UPND. That one we can't even pretend.
You as UPND also, you were accused of also transporting cadres in the just ended elections. Equally, the ruling party.
So, which means we are just at the same level.
Yeah, it's bad.
In fact, even more advanced this time around, because the weapons that are being used now are more advanced than the weapons that, you know, with PF they were just making noise. They tried to throw stones, but with this, it's something else.
Okay.
It's something else. Go to Mwense as journalists.
Hold your thought. Let's see if we can pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Fine, how are you? Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Okay, I'm Fulera representing there. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I just wanted to say, now confirmed that you are defending, but we don't know what you want. That's why you have to work that's what you want to do. You know, that's the opposition that you are making. When they put there is something the rest of it to do. There is what we need to do. But now that I don't know. I don't think it was Zambia or the rest of it. I don't understand. Let's take something to first of all, asking that one there, asking what makes first of all to go down and go up. If you just become a person, it's no problem. So where are we going to go up? Asking what the people see, the first of all is and the first of all is how much do you think that is going to do that will do that. You don't want so, I really see that even people going up, the cost of people are just maintained. What has led to the more is still going up. What the people and the poor and this is why the first now the
okay.
It means that often the
right, we picked that message. Polira, they are representing. You two can have your say on this conversation we're having this morning. You can call us using the numbers that are scrolling on your screens, and you can also send us those text messages. We'll be able to read and get interactive with you. Remember, we always say this is your platform aimed at giving you a voice so that you can give us your perspective on various issues happening in the country, especially that we are drawing to a close of 2022. In studio, just a reminder, we have Mr. Charles Mwalwa, who is a political activist and also a member of a Patriotic Front?
Of course, yes.
Yes, and participated in the recently held Mwense chairperson by-elections. He came out second. You've been coming out second. Eventually, you'll come out first. It's okay, no? This is like the second time you're coming second in an election.
Second time, yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's something that is appreciated. I came out second last time.
Second now, meaning you're still in the loop.
I'm getting closer to that, yes.
Okay, let's bring in the issue of agriculture. Mwense is obviously at the heart of, or at the core of your heart. You've been wanting to represent these people at different levels of leadership. It's predominantly rural, and the issue of fertilizer comes into play, especially that it's the rain season. How has the UPN fared in that area in Mwense? We're not talking about the country now. We are taking it back to Mwense before we come to other parts of the country.
Just like any other place, there was too much delay, and they have received part of it, and part of it they have not yet received. But you know, like Mwense, it's an area where we believed very much in cassava. So like this time around, people are now even thinking of getting back to cassava cultivation. Why? Because the issue of fertilizer is becoming something else. That one again, they delayed. We don't have to pretend. You know, at the end of the day, it's saving the people. That is our interest. Where it is correct, you'd say, I think this one you've acted done better. You know, I'm one person that loves teamwork. Even now, I call the council chairperson there. Yesterday, I received a call to say UPND and PF were actually fighting. You know, they sat at some point. They started fighting. Hey, no, you are UPND. We are not going to give you this beer. No, beer is very expensive. I called the council chairperson to say people are actually fighting there. So you actually get there, harmonize the situation. Why? Because I believe in oneness. I believe in teamwork. So to get back to your question, the inputs were lately delivered.
The rains were late too. Wasn't that a blessing?
The good part of it, the good part of it is, you know, God has got a way on how He saves His own people. Because of the farming inputs to delay, the rains also delayed. But the only most unfortunate part is, even when the rain is serious now, some have not yet received. Those that have received are actually sharing the bucket more than expected. So this is something that is very unfortunate again. And then they have not received, is it D-compound or urea? They have only received one, then the other one they have not yet received, which means we are still very much behind on that one. And it's something that is very unfortunate. Again, that one also takes me back to the high poverty levels that we might have challenges.
Hold it to pick it up.
Let's pick this.
Hello, good morning. Fine, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Kelvin.
Yes, Kelvin.
Yeah, very
From?
From Kitwe.
Brilliant. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I nothing to add on what that man trying to see Zambian.
Yes.
You see, the politicians that man, they are not good enough. Look, remember, if someone can just say, no to minimum wage, what for? Then I don't know what. They are only speaking. Minimum is something that anything that goes to giving the people about. What is needed here is for. level of injustice. These people who are just managing are protected. Then you cannot go because of waiting. The vote is to come down. They don't make a way. This has been increased. Fair for life. This means they are going to be able to go without a good parent working. Yes? So the way they have come up with the minimum wage, it means let's say there is now a continuing adding job so that people will get how it's supposed to be. Those people, they are trying to protect the state in government, but they are there looking inward as if maybe they are the ones who hey, these people I don't know. I don't know.
He's actually talking about. I'll simply say.
Okay.
I simply said there's nothing wrong with the minimum wage. If I've got 10 workers, I will take 5 workers to him. I will remain with 5 workers. Those that I can manage paying.
You share.
Yes, I will share with him. Because it's a minimum wage, yes. Because, you know, there are 2 things here. There's nothing wrong with a minimum wage. I would definitely want to be paying my workers as much as 5,000 kwacha. Even more than that. But the question is, looking at the way business is actually is, am I going to manage paying 20 workers? The answer is no.
So you give him 10.
I'll give him 10. I'll remain with 10. Him who actually will employ 10 workers, I'll remain with 10 workers. Those that I can give the minimum wage. There's nothing wrong with that. So it is something that has come with it. You cannot look at the minimum wage before you stabilize the economy, before there is money in circulation. But believe me or not, even ShopRite is actually going to trim some workers.
Okay, we were talking about the fertilizer issue.
He was winding up on that. But
I wanted to hold your thought a bit, Patrick. Please don't forget the question. Yes. I wanted to ask you. You mentioned something that has been very important and circulating: the sharing of fertilizer.
Yes.
What is behind that? Is it because there's no commodity, or because people are delayed to pick, or they make their deposits? What is the criteria to which people are sharing? Have you been on the ground to assess
the number of bags they have received is less than the number that they actually expected. Let's say, for example, you are in a cooperative of 30. Then instead of maybe getting 6666, right? 66 times 30, you're maybe talking about 180. Then let's say, for example, you receive 50 bags. Right? As a cooperative, you receive 50 bags. What will happen? Each and every one of you needs to get at the end of the day. That's where the issue of sharing is.
But this year,
that one is very real.
But this year,
yes,
government said each individual belonging to a cooperative will pick for themselves.
Which is not true. Which is not true.
Is this information you're giving us from Mwense correct? We'll pick it up?
It is very correct. You go to Mwense there, you will find people sharing. Me, I was in Mwense after an election. I stayed there. There's one thing I actually thank God. I'm a very stable person in terms of maybe when I lose an election. I don't lose the focus. I always make sure that before I leave the place, I sit down with the people. Oh, my people, this has actually happened. So let's forge on. There's always next time. But again, during my stay in Mwense, I could see how people were queuing just to get the same fertilizer. It was something that is very unfortunate. Sometimes I could go there. I think the other one, the council chairperson Mwense, the other time he went there and gave them 300 kwacha for lunch. That is after they stayed for 2 days waiting for what? Fertilizer. Because other people were coming as far as maybe 100 kilometers getting to the bomber. Sometimes I could go there, you even give them what? Food. What we are getting, what people are getting is not adequate.
Okay. Now, are you aware, Mr. Mwero, that all these problems that Zambia is facing were as a result of the PF, according to various reports that have emerged, and according to the UPND administration, in terms of them fixing the economy? It is because of the mess the PF left let's look at the issue of debt and the and the same cost of living. Are you aware that we were still experiencing the high cost of living under the PF? And why are you justifying that perspective?
Patrick, if I've got a loan with the, let's say, Atlas Mara, right? Then Zanako comes to me and says, no, Vamwelwa, you are owing Atlas Mara 50,000 kwacha. As we can give you better services than Atlas Mara. So what we are going to do is move out of Atlas Mara and come to Zanako. You get a loan from Zanako. When I go to Zanako, I expect to get something that will make me pay off Atlas Mara so that that problem ends. What am I trying to say? If cost of living was high in PF and UPND said they are going to lessen it, we don't expect it to be high. Meaning that if fuel was at 15 kwacha and UPND said they are actually going to reduce, we don't expect it to be at 25
Also add on to their theory that it will go up and eventually come down.
Come down.
When is that? It's 1 year. Let's wait. It's 1 year.
There's more years.
It's 1 year. Yes. There's 4 years to come.
The president was also categorical in stating that they have a 5-year mandate.
They have a 5-year mandate. But you know, there are some of these things you need to give a signal. There was a time when Malema said, Mama, give me a signal. We need to have a signal to say, I think we are getting somewhere better. You know, there are some situations where, but you know, Zambian people like this time around, they are not like the way we were before. If only you actually do better in the last 2 years, it's 50-50. You expect them to accept it, or you expect them to do what? To refuse it. They would say, oh, just because it's an election, now they want to do this. So the president has also to look into that one. Or else, expecting it to be well in the last 2 years may not be better for the UPND. It might remove them from power.
All right.
Just like, for example, 3 years. 3 years I'm actually struggling. The same 3 years I've got maybe millions of kwachas as credits. Then you change today. Then you say, okay, vote for me. It's something that is very tricky. Zambian people are not the way they were before. It's something else.
How are they today?
We are awake. We are able to see he's doing this because of what? Politics. Remember, I told you to say, if only the president could implement what he's talking about. Let's say, for example, 25 million kwacha as CDF. If only that one was well utilized, everything is in the constituency, we could definitely do better as a country.
Let's hope next year. The guidelines were revised according to the information.
That's our player. That's why I've said I cannot talk about it next year because he has the keys to either open or close the door.
Does this mean you've completely lost hope, Mr. Muela? You know, the way you're coming out, like you're completely hopeless.
That one I can't pretend. With me, I've lost hope. Yes. I'm the one that supported. I supported last time.
Let's speak this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling from? Thank you, same to you.
Thank you.
Tell us your name, ma.
Yes, my name is Elizabeth. I want to contribute.
Yes, Madam Elizabeth, go ahead.
Yes, I'm on that man. I've just woken up. You know, us, we are organized people. We pray in the night.
Okay, great. Hope you prayed for it.
Yes, I want to talk to that man. He's not being fair.
Okay. Oh, Elizabeth.
The lady of feuds. You are not being fair.
You're not being fair with your sentiments. You know, you seem close, like you've lost hope, literally.
No, me if I've lost hope, it doesn't mean you've lost hope. It's my opinion.
No, it doesn't.
You may have your own opinion.
It doesn't mean that, but...
he may have his own opinion. I'm speaking as me.
Yes.
I'm in business, and if my business is not doing well, I wouldn't say my business is doing well, then I'll be pretending.
So, are you being sincere that you also got a ride when coming here, that you have to park your vehicle, Mr. Muela?
Which one?
And
you say people have parked their vehicles because the gas is expensive?
Yes. My vehicle is actually is expensive.
Has it been
I came on Yango. I am going back on Yango.
Let's pick that.
Oh my goodness. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Elizabeth, you are back.
Hello, I'm back.
Yes.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes. I got Camnet network.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes, I was talking about that man. I've just woken up. You are not fair. And this is not the way we are going to run the country. You are very old to start celebrating the failure of HH. Let the man work, and you have seen what he has done in 1 year. And there's no way you can be talking about Shoiw as if you have Shoiw in Zambia. There's no way you can be talking about high cost of living as if you have never seen this high cost of living. After all, you are already very fat. You are well known. You have a lot of food. Who are you talking to? This is not good. What you are doing is not good. All you are doing is to bring down Mr. Ikeba. But he says it openly that I am controlling this economy. I'm not crying for the second term. He's not a man who is crying for a second term. He's trying to do everything for us. But you continue talking like that. Just yesterday, I received a call from America because I live in America. Things are not the same in America. Things are expensive. We used to buy goods in $100, $200, not anymore. That's why should you be like that? I'm very shameful.
Okay.
To be here in
Mama.
People like you. Thank you very much.
Okay. It's good that she's confirming to say cost of living is high. As if we have not seen it. She's actually accepting.
It's a global
That's the only
thing.
good part of it. And she's actually saying, just like the way someone called from America and said, the cost of living is high. Does she expect people from America to say cost of living is cheap? And this is exactly what we are saying. It's high. She's confirming to say, yes, fuel is expensive. She's actually confirming, yes. So she's actually saying, her argument is that I'm not trying to be fair. Okay, let me be fair. Fuel is cheap in Zambia. Is that what you are going to go
we
fair?
want to be, Mr. Mola, the issue here is being realistic.
This is what
I equally asked the same question to say, have you seen anything good that they have done? I'm sure that's where she's basing her argument on.
Which I mentioned.
You know, when you blanket something is unfair according to her. You know, the things that they've done and the things that they're moving towards a better thing. So if you're not seeing that, of course you said it's your opinion and it's her opinion as well to say you're not being fair. So let us calm down and you give us your perspective. She did give us her perspective as well.
Which I'm after saying, okay, fine. Let me say, if I say no, I think cost of living this time around is very cheap. How are people going to respond? You are a liar. But if she says you're not actually being fair, we have seen this cost of living to be high before, which means I'm trying to be realistic. Is being realistic a problem? The answer is no. Someone from America called and said cost of living in America is high. Do you expect them to say cost of living in America is cheap? The answer is no. So in short, by being real, other people would actually take you to be maybe like opposite. No. I said earlier on, I'm one of the people that appreciated the president to say he has done this good, he has done this, he has done here on this TV. And again, I'm the one that is saying the cost of living is high. I'm just trying to be real.
Let's talk about the solutions, Mr. Muller. I think we've lamented for quite some time. Let's talk about the solutions. What should this administration do to move in the right direction according to you?
According to me, if we could get back to subsidies on fuel, it would be better. Simple as that.
We go back to subsidies and we go back to paying for education.
Meaning that fuel will actually come down. If fuel comes down, the books will be a little bit cheap. Even if people are paying 5 kwacha at school, they are able to buy books, right? You pay 5 kwacha, you're able to buy books. Then go for free education, you are not able to buy a book. These are real things, which everyone would accept. If I say, no, I think I was buying books in Kalingalinga, it was 10 kwacha, I would be a liar. Because someone would go to say, no, you are lying. Tomorrow I was just at Karingaringa. I bought a book at 25 kwacha. Which one would be better?
Mr. Mwewa,
yes.
Give us your concluding remarks.
Okay, so let people not take everyone who comes here to be politicizing. No. We need to call a spade a spade. When there is violence, you say there is violence, that is real. When fuel is high, you say fuel is high, it is real. When things are cheap, then you say they are expensive, you are not trying to be realistic. We are not going to be here to massage the UPND or the PF, no. A correct thing must be done. That is the only way to go. Cost of living is very high. Even when you see someone putting on a nice jacket like my sister here, it is coming from very tough situations. Yes.
Well, they say democracy is about tolerating the views that you do not like from someone you might not like. Indeed. So we respect everyone's opinion, including that of our callers who called in on the program. Your contributions vary and matter the most. But as usual, as we say, everyone else is entitled to their opinion and it must be respected.
Indeed. Thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. Join us again tomorrow as we continue such conversations as we wind up the year 2022. Thanks for being with us. Good morning.